This is Andrew Gill on Sunday, February the 27th, working on the case. And here's Brian Stokes' ID, Florida ID, Mr. Brian Stokes right here. Documenting Brian Stokes, you came up here to Washington, D.C. from Newport Richey, Florida. Is that correct?
Born originally in New York, went down there to help take care of my parents, yeah.
So when you came up here to D.C., did you come up here to D.C. from Newport Richey, Florida?
Somewhere around there, either Port Richey or Newport Richey. I forget which one I dumped in before I got the heck out of there.
No problem, no problem. Is that the ID on there on your card? Is that your last address, you right?
Not exactly.
Okay, it's all good. Do you remember your last address or no?
Not really, not really.
Okay.
I wasn't even there for like a week or two.
No problem. To understand what's going on here, my name is Andrew Gill. I'm Andrew Gill. I'm up in Washington, D.C., and I've been in Washington, D.C. since roughly October of 2008. I've been working on civil law because I've been dealing with some severe violation of my constitutional rights. Also, the things here involving child pornography, the murder of a child named Christopher King, pretty much a whole racist hate group there, so on and so forth. And it's even got parts of it that have to do with Kennedy and Schwarzenegger. So it's really, really big and really, really interesting. Really, really,
no Schwarzenegger or Kennedy.
really, really hard. I understand it's all good. Look, Brian, as for me, Andrew K. Gill, have you ever met me outside of Washington, D.C.?
No.
Okay. And we're going to go back to what we were doing the other day. When you came up here, I'm saying it was June the 7th of 2010. That sound about right to you? Not when you came up here, when you met me.
Up here?
Yes.
I forget exactly what day it was. I'm not writing down stuff like that.
No problem. I have it documented as June the 7th. I'm pretty sure that's the day. I'm 100% sure. In fact, before you were here at this shelter, Brian, you said you stayed in New York Avenue shelter. Is that right?
Yeah, for a few months.
You were in there for a few months? Okay.
I knew I had to come up here to find you to get help, so I did.
You came up here to find me to get some help?
Yeah.
And when you came up here to find me to get some help, did Richard Knight down in Florida said to you, he said I would help you up here?
Yeah.
I see. Is that all he said about me? Is there anything else he said? Did he mention anything else?
No.
Not that you can remember?
I think he could actually pull in every one of those people that did attack Chris King, because I met Chris King for only a little bit of time.
I see. And I want to ask you this too, Brian. Richard, you said for his one of his homecomings or his proms for high school, the skinheads did something good for him for it. Is that right? They did him a favor and funded it or covered it? Or?
They paid for his reunion.
And it was Nazis that did this for him?
Yeah.
I see.
What he mentioned and what he meant to me.
And he mentioned to you, you said you never saw him smoke any pot. Is that correct?
I never seen him smoke pot.
Did he say to you he does pot?
Yeah.
Okay. It's okay to say that here. You're not going to get in any trouble, and if anybody gives you any crap about it, they're going to have to come to me.
I can't touch it. It goes right through my system.
Yeah.
It was water.
There's nothing wrong with that initial business. I don't do drugs. You've been here in D.C. Have you ever seen me use any drugs? Besides maybe drink a beer or besides maybe have a drink?
No.
And when you see me drink, do I drink excessively every day that you've seen? Do I have to use alcohol all the time?
Nope.
Okay. And the shelter,
I think I've seen you pick up one or two. That's it.
I don't drink very much. I don't do any drugs.
Since I've been here, I only picked up maybe 3 glasses.
Okay, can I ask you, have you been on any other drugs here in D.C. besides alcohol? Have you messed with any other drugs? And you can be honest and it's okay, because there's lots of people here who've done lots of drugs.
No.
No. And you do get prescriptions and stuff like that from doctors for mental illnesses and also for...
Not for mental.
Not for mental illnesses.
One was to actually try to quit smoking.
Uh-huh.
It was to lower my nerves for quitting.
I see.
But it's just too much.
I see.
Remember the time where I told you where I was like beating the heck up?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was beaten there 3 days dead from those Nazi people down there.
Brian, I'm going to ask you, when we were in court, you do remember we were in court having to do with Chip Prescott and everything. And we were in front of a judge at one time. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. You remember when you were asked by Chip Prescott, or when I asked you questions if you could identify Chip Prescott and if he was there at the Nazi compound in Florida? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And you had said yes to me.
But they didn't hear you say object, and he kept on raising his voice over yours.
I see. Do you still feel confident that that was Chip Prescott you saw down there at that Nazi compound?
Well, with the lie that he said that he wasn't in Florida, and yeah, that was.
You think it was him? You sure it was him? Yeah, I feel you. I understand most definitely. So.
Hey, Drew, that's your coat?
No, it's anybody's coat who wants it. It's all right. If you do feel confident that it was Chip Prescott that you saw. Basically, don't.
That might be another person.
Don't worry about that, Brian. Don't worry about that. I said that there.
Okay.
Whatever. Don't worry about what he said. Now, we know he lied. Okay, we know Chip Prescott lied in court. We know that.
Yeah.
You can't say I've never been to Florida before a day in my life.
And then say the next court.
These pictures of me are in Florida. Yeah, you're right there. But here's the question, and I cannot lie. You know what I'm saying? Are you sure, Brian? Look at me here. Look at the camera too. Are you confident that you saw Chip Prescott at the Nazi compound off of Tech Street, roughly where Christopher King was killed? Are you so sure you can place him there at some point in time and it was him? You've seen him in court?
The green Chevy truck.
The green Chevy truck.
Yeah.
The one that was from Serenity Pools. You've seen that there? That's what you're talking about there.
Right.
And you're sure you saw Chip Prescott there in it and Chip Prescott around it?
Yeah.
And the guy we had pictures of up there, you're sure you saw him there too? Remember the guy who we showed pictures of in court?
That showed up in court?
No, not the guy that showed up in court. You said you saw him there. That's Chip Prescott.
No, the one that was on the right was Chip, but I don't remember the other one.
Okay.
I think he was like a lawyer or something else for something.
You don't even know that other guy then, huh?
Right.
Okay, that's fine. Remember the Marine I showed you the picture of in court? That's the guy who was in the green Chevy truck. Does that sound right to you?
No, it looked like it was Chip.
Okay. That's fine.
They said that there.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
They said that there was like 4 or 6 that attacked that family that night.
The kid named Christopher King.
I was taking care of my son.
No problem.
He was just a couple months old. So my fiance wanted to go out, and I had to take care of him.
Definitely. So.
It was my fiance.
Where's your fiance? So. Richard Knight, do you think he's ever met me before, or knows him?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I've never met Richard Knight before except for over the telephone.
All throughout that time, they were calling me Jew and everything else just to get me knocked the hell off.
So Richard Knight.
I don't even know how much, even if I have any type of Jew in me.
So you're sure and you're confident, and you're going to stick by your word here on this too. Richard Knight told you that I would help you up here in D.C. That's what he said to you.
That's what he said.
Okay. And I have never met Richard Knight before a day in my life too in Newport Richey, Florida. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know this guy.
Okay.
So that's why it's like, when I talked to him over the phone, he said that he was trying to get his friend Mike off of a rape charge down there in Florida. His friend Mike got caught doing something wrong and he's going to get a rape charge. Come to find out, his friend named Mike, I'm cool with this kid named Matthew, who child molested and so on and so forth, who I turned in. So that's why I say
a flock of them asking me to come in and see it. And I kept on saying, no, man. You know, you guys are sick. If that's underage, forget it. I don't want to even watch it.
Well, it's all good. You did. Thank you.
I am a father.
Thank you for the video here, man. Good work.